Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how you can create a RAG chatbot that you can embed on any website. This chatbot will be able to answer questions regarding the website. So I've embedded a chatbot on my website on opensourcehustle.com, and let's ask it a few questions. For example, how can I contact you? So you can see that it provided the contact us page. If I click on it, it's working. Let's ask it something else. So I've asked it what kind of services do you provide, and it mentioned Odoo, WordPress, and self-hosted solutions, which I mentioned on the website. I'll be following my article on opensourcehustle.com, and I'll have link to that article in the description. With RAG chatbots, we are basically providing additional information to the AI agent for it to use. In this case, we will be providing information about our website. The prerequisite for this tutorial is having Docker Desktop installed, as we will use it to create the n8n container and the pgvector container. So if you haven't, click on the Docker Desktop and download it. It is free to use for personal use. Next, go to your preferred directory and create the compose.yaml file. In it, paste the information that I have provided. Here, we will create two containers, the n8n container and pgvector container. Both of them are using the default ports. Both of them have volumes, which will ensure that the data remains persistent even after the containers are restarted. Additionally, in the pgvector container, we have three environment variables. These are used to create the Postgres database, the user, and the password. We will use this information inside the n8n workflow. Save the file. Next, we are going to start the containers by running docker compose up and the dflag. If you open your Docker desktop, you'll see that the two containers have been created. Let's click on the n8n container. Here you'll need to set up the account, add your information so we can start with the workflow. Once here, create a new workflow. Next, go back to the website and download the workflow by clicking on this icon. Go back to the workflow, click here, click import from file, and select the file you downloaded. So here you will see that the workflow is composed of two sections. The first section is responsible for fetching information regarding your website and storing it in pgvector. The second section contains the actual chatbot and the AI agent. I've added a note to the nodes that you need to modify. First, let's start by filling the credentials, and then I'll explain the workflow step by step. First, we have the Postgres pgvector store. Let's click on it and let's create new credentials. All the information that you need is in your compose.yaml file. So let's print the content inside the compose.yaml file. We can see that the host is pgvector. Next, the database is n8n, and both the user and the password are Postgres. Let's save, and we can see that the connection tested successfully. Next, we have the OpenAI for embedding and for the chat model. Click on it, select credential, create new credential, and paste here your OpenAI key. Next, just click on the red nodes for them to take the new credentials. Let's start by explaining the workflow step by step. So the first node we have is the HTTP node that is requesting the sitemap.xml file. So let's actually use a random website and create a chatbot for it. I'm gonna search for UK marketing agency, and I'm gonna click on this Make Agency London, and their website is built using WordPress. So their sitemap is sitemap_index.xml. Now inside it there is multiple other sitemaps depending on the category. So there is the page sitemap, there is the post sitemap for articles, and other sitemaps. Let's select the page sitemap, and I'm going to copy this URL and modify this URL over here with that one. And I'm going to execute this step. In the output here we can see that it fetched the XML sitemap. Next, we have the code node, which should extract all the URLs from the sitemap using a regular expression. Let's execute the step, and we can see that it extracted all the URLs. Next, we're going to loop over each URL, send an HTTP request to that URL, extract its content, and then use the HTML node to extract text from HTML. In this node, I'm using the body CSS selector to extract only the content inside the body. If I execute this step, we can see that we extracted the text content of the front page. After the loop is done and it extracted all the contents, we are storing it in the pgvector store. The pgvector store has two subnodes. The data loader basically splits the text into chunks. If we click here, we have the description that it splits the text into 1000 characters with 200 characters overlap. Next, the OpenAI embedding node will convert these chunks into vectors and store them in the pgvector store. So actually you could have this section in a separate workflow, but for simplicity I included them both in this workflow. So let's execute the workflow fully, and now it's extracting the content in each URL for the Make Agency website. You can see here that it has 47 pages, so this will take a minute to extract. And now it's turning the content into vectors and storing them in our pgvector store. So now the first section is done, and we can actually start chatting with the AI agent and ask it anything regarding the website. But before I do that, let's go over the AI agent nodes. First we have the chat trigger node, and for the mode it's set for embedded chat, so we could embed this chat later on. I've also added the option load from previous session, so it could read previous sessions from memory. This will create a subnode, the memory subnode, which you can connect it to the simple memory. And the same subnode is connected also to the AI agent memory node, so it could read the previous sessions. For the chat model, we are using the OpenAI chat model, and we have the respond to webhook node, which is used when we actually embed the chatbot on a website. Next, under tools, we have the answer questions with the vector store node, which basically fetches content from the pgvector store and provides that information to the AI agent for it to answer the user. You'll see that there are two prompts here, one inside the AI agent, the system message. So here I'm telling it basically that you are a chatbot assistant for a website and that it should answer questions based on the website information. And if the user asks anything outside of the website, to direct that user back to the website services in a humorous manner. And then I'm providing it with the user's message. Next, we'll need to also put that description to the answer questions with the vector store node. And here we need to tell the AI agent what kind of information is coming from here. So here I'm saying that this is basically the website information that you could use to answer any inquiries that the user might have. So with this, we can actually start asking questions. Let's open the chat and let's open the make website to the side so we can check if the answers are correct. So for example, let's go to the team section and let's ask the chatbot about one of the team members. For example, Karen. So I'm gonna say, who is Karen? And it answered by saying that Karen is a mid-weight designer, which is correct. Let's go to the services. Let's ask the chatbot, what kind of services do you provide? So it gave us a short answer and provided us with the link. Let's test the link if it's actually working, and it took us to the professional services page. Next, let's go over how you can actually embed the chatbot on a website. If you click on the chat trigger node, you'll have a link here for the instruction to do so. Scroll down to the CDN embed section, and all you'll have to do is just copy this code, put it in your header or footer section of the website, and replace the webhook URL with your actual webhook URL. You can get the webhook URL by clicking on the chat trigger, and here you have it. Just make sure that the workflow is active before you do so. Let's do this on a locally running test site that I have, which is using WordPress. Log into my test site. This one is running locally. I'm gonna go to the front page and I'm going to edit page. So you'll need to add the chunk of code that is provided on my website or the npm website and just modify the webhook URL with your actual webhook URL. In my case, I'm gonna copy this chat URL, put it here, save this, and I'm gonna view the page. I'm gonna click on the chat. I'm gonna ask something again regarding the team members. And I asked who are the co-founders. And it said that the co-founders are Anthony Burkis and Tom Witcherley, which are correct. At the end of the article, I have additional notes. In case of Make, they have multiple sitemaps. So if you want to include the articles also that Make has posted, you need to include this sitemap as well. To do that, you simply need to duplicate these two nodes. Next, include the second sitemap in the duplicated node. Remove this connection and add the merge node. Next, connect the trigger node to the second sitemap request and connect both of the code nodes to the merge node. Now click on the merge node, click on the mode as combine, and make sure that the output type is keep non-matching. And for the expression, I'm gonna put the URL fields to match. Connect the merge node to the loop, and I'm going to execute this workflow. So we can see that we got 47 links from the page XML file and 120 links from the article sitemap, and it merged them together into 167 items. So that's how you can add multiple sitemaps. Next, when it comes to updating the chatbot contents, let's say you have any updates on the website, simply just execute the workflow and your chatbot will be updated. Now, if you want to embed this on a live website, you need to make sure that your n8n instance is also publicly accessible. So either using n8n.io or self-hosting an n8n instance, which I will show in the future how to do. I hope you found this useful and thank you for watching.